Hello, this is Coach Colleen with Teentastic Families, and today we are talking about being bizarre or extreme parents. And, those of us who have bigger personalities, it's much easier. But those of you who are quiet and you're thinking, I can't do that, that's not my personality. You know what? It's being confident, really. And you can be confident and not loud. In fact, I want to make it extremely clear. I'm not talking about yelling and screaming. That is not being bizarre, and that's not being extreme. That is being loud and annoying and teaching your teens a bad way to express themselves. So it is not talking about being loud. It's about being confident. You don't want to be scared of your teen. They will know it. And, some of it is just changing your mindset of, and again, for some people, this is easy peasy, you already know who you are, and you're a confident parent already. And so, but you can learn to be a confident parent, and I can help you with that. We could talk about it later. But and if you have two parents in the home, which is of course ideal, you need to provide a united front. Okay, you have to decide on the rules that you are going to stick to and enforce. When you have a teen, says, hey, Dad, can I go to my friend's house? Dad, you need to say, did you ask Mom already? That's a big one. Where, if Mom says no already, Dad, you need to back up, what the first parent said. And same thing, if Dad says first no or yes, then Mom, you need to back up the parent that said it first. Or if they don't understand the full situation, then you just need to explain it. Don't yell and scream. What are you talking about? They can't go there. Do you know that the brother's there and he's an alcoholic? And, so don't yell at your spouse. Okay. There just needs to be some communication, just saying, hey, you probably don't realize the full situation, that there is a dangerous relative at the house right now. And I said no. And that, or you could say, I have said no while that relative is still here. And then Dad gives him the opportunity to say, oh, I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me? And you can, give the teen what for playing one against the other, or, going to the parent that doesn't know the whole story, right? Teens are smart. So get your facts together and, the best you can, and stick to your guns, and just make it a rule between parents that whoever spoke first, that you back them up as much as possible. Like I said, there might be other factors involved. Maybe a promise even that was mentioned ahead of time that the other parent didn't know, that if you finish your chore, you could do this, right? And the other parent doesn't know. So talk, right? Okay, so another one with teens, don't count to 3. Jeez, that might work for little kids. In fact, I never even did it with my little kids. Kids learn what is your level of action. Even little kids, when Mom is talking, okay, don't do this, Johnny, Johnny, don't do that. When you get to this decibel level, the kid learns, Johnny, and you're setting yourself up for this pattern. And as teens, they don't respect, they'll push your limits. And I never started that. It has worked for some, the counting 1, 2, 3, but they know you won't take action till 3. So you may as well just skip 1 and 2. Just say what you mean. This is what we're doing. This is what you need to do. And if they are in the middle of something, let them finish what they're doing and then go. If you give, but don't count to 3. They're too old for that. And they need to be responsible for the things that they are told. And it's like hitting the snooze 3 times, you're drive everybody Patty next to you in the bed. So you're training them for, future life, and that includes a life partner. And you want to get them into good habits, right? Okay, extreme parents. And what does that mean? If you have set up some rules, enforce them, and don't be mousy about it. Okay, if the teen is slamming doors and won't listen, you speak first, say no slamming doors. If they continue to do it, by the end of the week, it's off the hinges. That door is off the hinges. You take it downstairs. For privacy, you can hang a sheet in front of the doorway, and that's what they get. And so a door is a privilege. Did you know that? So is, fancy food. If they refuse to come home for supper and won't come on time, put a loaf of bread on the counter, can of tuna. That is food. Some parents have gone as far as locking the pantry with an actual lock and key. Some have put locks on freezers. I know of a single mom, her kids are all grown now, 3 boys, and they would invite, she was a single mom, and she bought a beef once, and one of the boys invited all his friends and cleaned out the freezer. She was livid and broke. She had invested in this meat. So you know what? Sometimes if they don't respect what she did, in fact, all of her boys, the 2 older ones actually, they were not respecting her and stuff, inviting their friends over and stuff. And she doesn't mind having the friends over, but you cannot eat all the steak. Like, and so they were being very selfish. And so she stopped buying groceries for, I think, what did she say? It was 3 or 4 months. I mean, there was still stuff in the pantry. You got stuff in the pantry could last you, nobody, I think, most people in North America wouldn't starve for at least 6 months because of all, but you'd be, eating these odd crackers nobody likes, or, jars of pickles, or, just the odd stuff that gets in the back of your pantry. So no one would actually starve. But I think she ended up with some pinto beans because the boys finally, after a couple of months, they said, Mom, when are you going to buy groceries? And she's just said, you know what? You don't respect me. I don't have to buy groceries that you like. And she would feed the younger one. They would actually, it was more reasonable for her just to take them out for supper. She would pack his lunch, but she did not buy anything that would support that bad attitude. And you know what? Actually, that attitude turned around. The boys actually snapped out of it, and they realized that they are a family and they need to respect their mom. And she started buying groceries and stuff, and they actually treated her good. And now they treasure her as their mom and grandmom to their kids and stuff. So extreme measures sometimes have to happen, but you cannot get into a situation where they are manipulating you. And I've talked about this before in some other videos you can catch. But you cannot have them threatening you. Do this or I'll call social services. No, I don't have to do anything. I've provided you with the bed. Here's a loaf of bread and tuna. Seriously, folks, you need to be more extreme. If they are not doing their chores or participating, then you start taking things away. I've said it before, take away their dressers, leave them a basics, few changes of clothes. If you can take away their bed frame, leave them a mattress, a blanket and pillow. That's it. And so sneaking out of the house at night is another big one, and you need to, if you find out in the middle of the night they're gone, lock the window, lock it. They're locked out, leave a quarter. Well, now everybody has a cell phone, but back in the day it was like, no, you got a phone to be let in, and then you're going to have conditions. Be extreme. If you like, kids threaten, they do that, call their bluff. And if within reason, I mean, what are they bluffing? If they're gonna commit suicide, they're say, I'll kill myself, then you need to call the police. And they might not like being locked up overnight. So that's great, because that goes in your favor then. Unfortunately, a lot of police, the police force just overloaded with, actual crimes. And so it's not as easy to do that. In a smaller town it is, or a small city maybe, but that's not necessarily reasonable. But you could find out what they say, and that you actually call the police might be enough to jar them. If they are just so rebellious, they might be over the edge, and actually it's sometimes parents, you might actually have to kick your kid out to save the younger ones. And that's an extreme situation. And I don't just recommend that as your first, but I have talked to people online that it's just beyond. Now they are just talking about trying to save the younger ones. And if you do not deal with the older troubled one, if that's the case, the younger ones will suffer. And in fact, they will think, mom and dad don't do anything about that behavior, why should I listen? And so you end up in problems. So parents, be on it. But you can also make this fun too. Be bizarre in the fun things. Family fun nights can be a lot of fun. In fact, you can make one extreme, night a year, where you, for family fun, for a family night. We used to be youth leaders. And so what we did, we just did a lot of fun things with our kids, but also with all the other youth in the church. And we bought from Home Depot or wherever you've got, whatever stores near you, a new toilet, and you fill the toilet with lemonade, or I think Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew's a little sticky though. And then you put chocolate bars, even the small O. Henry, and you throw it in, and they have to bob for the chocolate bars. It is absolutely disgusting and so funny. And you know what, as parents, just setting this up for the kids to do something bizarre is so much fun, and it keeps your teens on their toes. You have to keep your teens on their toes, not knowing what to expect. If they do something, go beyond that. Just make your reaction that much more than what they were expecting. It can also be, we don't have to fix everything, like if the kids say, life sucks, like, oh, I don't have to do this, my life, so-and-so doesn't have to do any chores, they, get money all the time, and, this is, I would just say, life sucks, and then you die, so deal with it, So someone's suicidal, don't say that, but sometimes we are too much, wanting to fix things, and so be careful that you don't. Sometimes you just have to agree, what, life isn't always fair, but we have to learn to deal with these things and move on, so what you can do, another activity for family fun night is, bobbing for apples is an old game. That's why we changed it up with lemonade and the chocolate bars. And you can get those mini chocolate bars too. Those are fun in there. But to bob for apples, but have fish swimming in the water with bobbing for whatever, whether it's apples or whatever. Truth or dare, do trivia. But if you lose, you have to either eat, like cooked tongue, or actually, we had it checked out, but one of the options for getting an answer wrong was actually dog food. So it was nasty, so nasty. But if they got it wrong, they had to pick a number, and one was, I think, cooked liver, the second one was dog food or whatever. So I think only 2 people actually picked the dog food. But make it extreme. I mean, don't make it detrimental to their health. You're not going to get them to drink bleach or something, but make it gross. And Another great game is for family night is Quelf. You have to do things, you have to, act like a chicken, and just different things that they make you do in this game is a lot of fun. I don't try to promote things on this, on my videos, but that's a fun one. And do stuff with your teens, go skating, tobogganing, or, sledding, tobogganing if you're in Canada, or if you're in a hot place, swimming, go to the mall with your teens and just sit in the middle. Just say, hey, I'm just here. If you guys want to drop off bags as you're shopping and, want to do that, you could do that. I always just drop my teens off at the mall, but offer to drive them, and things like this. So just make yourself involved. And I know parents, you are so busy. And you just don't have energy for some of this. And I get it. I'm just giving you ideas to do, like I said, the big things like the toilet, and then we return the toilet after got our money back. So you don't have to keep the toilet. Just wash it up and make it like new. So just do things with your kids. If you invest time, what's that saying? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it's when you invest yourself in your teen's life that they will in turn trust you with some of the things that are going on in their life. And you could also, another idea is have a fun friends night, like fun family night, fine, but like we had with our youth group, the teens love to do it with other teens, so that when you see them next time, it's like something to talk about. Hey, do you remember this and this? My teens are all grown now, they're all adults, and they still talk about some of those crazy things we did. And they see friends from back then, and they're like, oh, I remember this and that, and just the fun things. You're making memories. And so you could do something like the toilet, the toilet, with the lemonade and chocolate bars with a bunch of their friends. If you don't have a youth group, or the youth group doesn't do these, outrageous things, you could do it yourselves and just invite a lot of their friends. And it would be, tell them, plan for it for a couple of months, so that they tell other friends, and it could be even a block party, or just, do something like that once in a while. And even if you're a quiet mom or dad, you can still get some of these things going. If you have your spouse is, well, if you're quiet, your spouse is probably going to be more outgoing. So you could do all the planning, and they could execute the, the actual activities and get the energy and stuff going. So there is a place for both parents, especially with, like I said, everybody being so busy these days, that you each need to be involved to some degree to make the load a little lighter, and it'll pay off in the end. It really will, because you'll make memories with your teens, and the friends actually will build you up. Oh, your mom and dad are so cool, which is the best. So parents, it can be a journey to get to this point. And I can help you. I have 2 90-day programs. Some are for more timid parents, and depends how old your teens are. Others are a little bit more advanced, but contact me. I would love to talk to you about one of my programs. Email me at teentasticfamilies@gmail.com. That's teentastic, TEEN. Tastic, TASTIC, families@gmail.com, or I'm on Facebook, and you can direct message me from there, and just let me know you'd like to have a little bit more information. I offer free 45-minute strategy sessions. We can talk about your situation and find out if anything's a fit, or you might just want to keep on with the videos for now. And so saying that, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any, and the notification button next to it, and it'll give you an alert as to when I have a new video out, which is weekly. So give me a shout if you're interested in more, and not if you're good with the videos. Like I said, it takes time. I took training before my kids were teens and before we fostered troubled teens. And it was the best thing I ever did, but it took a couple months actually, because you need a mind shift sometimes and just change your way of thinking on a few matters. And then it doesn't just happen just watching videos, unfortunately. So hope I helped, and we'll see you next time.